it's your first time, welcome. And if you're returning, welcome back. So I've been gone for a couple of weeks. I took a little hiatus because, life gets crazy. But I am back again today and I'm excited. Yes, I am excited about this episode. Here we are in the month, actually ending the month of May, the month in which we celebrated Mother's Day, heading into June where we celebrate Father's Day. And so as we end out this month, I wanted to take an opportunity to talk to my bestie, my sister from another mister, Cassie Brinker, being a boy mom. So welcome, Cassie. You guys, this is my bestie. We have been friends since like the first grade, I believe. And what's so funny about us is that we didn't start out friends at first. We actually were like little, like not even really good friends in the first grade, you guys. Like who has beef in the first grade? But I remember going to her dad's house with my dad and seeing her picture up on his mantle. And I'm like, hey, is that your little girl? And he said yes. And I went back to school and told her that I was at her daddy's house. And from there, we started our friendship and have been friends every since, you guys. Yes. So this is seriously my sister from another mister. And I'm excited to have you here with me today. And what is so interesting about my friend and I is that I always said that when I had children, I just truly believed that God was not going to give me girls because I was not the type of female that felt like I could mother a girl. I'm like, I'm not girly. I'm more of a tomboy. So God's going to give me boys. And yet God gave my bestie boys and gave me a girl. So I wanted to talk to her. So I wanted to talk to her today about #BoyMom. So Cassie, I'm going to turn it over to you. I'll let you introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about your family, your boys, their names, their ages, and what is your favorite thing about being a #BoyMom?
Yes. So Cassie Murphy, Brinker. Well, everybody else knows me as Murphy, but still getting used to Brinker. Well, from Lexington, born and raised, moved to Durham probably right after high school, after we graduated. And I've been there ever since. And I met my husband on a very popular dating website. So
yes. Props to online dating. Hey, it has put together a lot of relationships in my friends. So props.
Yes. Hey, and that was back in the day when I don't know why I felt like it was more comfortable back then than it is now. But I'm an advocate for it. So.
I'm telling you, I have seen so many relationships, especially here lately, popping up. I'm like, y'all better do it.
Yes. So unlikely, just outside of the box, I gave it a try and met the love of my life. And now we've got 2, 8 years later, we've got 2 boys. Frederick, who is 4, he'll be 5 this October, and Andrew, who is 1, and he will be 2 this September.
Crazy!
Yes,
crazy, man. That is itching. So, I mean, just to think that it feels like a year ago we was on my mama's couch on Friday nights eating our Totino pizzas, drinking our Food Line fruit punch, eating our butter pecan or rainbow sherbet ice cream, laughing, staying up all night. And now here we are, mothers, wives. You got a 4, almost 5-year-old.
Yes.
And an almost 2-year-old. Crazy, crazy, crazy.
It is. Oh my gosh, it is. It's gone by so fast. But my dad said that's the thing when you have kids, you now have something to measure time by. So I definitely believe him on that, because now it's like when in my 20s, it was kind of like, oh gosh, it's gonna be for 30s are so far away, and here I am at the end of my church.
I know.
And married. So.
Crazy. And then one of my coworkers, this older gentleman, he told me, he said, one thing they also tell you when you have kids, they don't tell you when you have kids, is that they do take some of your brain cells. I'm like, it's true. It's so true.
Now add 2 or more. It's gone that much more.
You can only imagine. So speaking of that, it is said that, raising boys, it can be a little bit more difficult than raising little girls because they are more higher in energy. They can be a little bit harder to calm down. So I'm wondering, in your experience, has that been your experience raising your boys? And if so, like, how do you channel all of that energy constructively?
Oh, yes. Okay, so just to sum it up, my oldest, right now, his favorite character is Sonic the Hedgehog.
Oh, dear.
So, you can only imagine. Yes. I've always called him the Energizer Bunny ever since he was like 2. Once he started walking, he walked for probably a week. And the next week, he was like, he started running. And then he was like, I can run. So he just started running everywhere. And it's been non-stop ever since. So energy level is through the roof. If I could bottle up his energy and sell it I wouldn't have 5-hour energy drinks. I would have 24-hour energy drinks.
You'd be a millionaire.
Yes, never have to work a day in my life because my son's energy, I could plug him into a grid and he could power a whole neighborhood with his, that energy is through the roof, and it seems like it does not stop. It's like, are you tired? No, I'm not tired. And he's literally bouncing. So yes, boys have a lot of energy. Wow. Andrew is a little different, but he once Frederick comes into the room, that energy kind of bounces off.
It's like contagious.
It's contagious, yes. And Andrew's my baby that will lay on the couch, cuddle, and watch a movie. Frederick can't sit still long enough, to do that. So. But how we have learned to channel that is outdoor activities. So with me working from home, during the week, it's a little challenging, but I try to make sure, in the morning, between 9 and 11, that they're outside in the backyard playing. That sun, I believe it's the sun, making them sun babies.
Yeah. It is just a natural, stiller of energy. Once they get out there and start playing in the sun is like,
yes,
go back in.
Right. And although my oldest will not take a nap, he stopped taking naps at 2. Which was an issue with daycare. Yes, it was an issue with most of his daycares because his energy was so off the charts that even daycare providers were kind of like, something might else be going on there, with this energy. He's got to take a nap. So we did have issues with his energy level even outside of the home, but going outdoors and letting him run and play and be out in the sun, it kind of helps because during quiet time at our house, which is nap time for his brother, it pans out. He'll watch a YouTube channel or he'll play with Play-Doh or he'll color, or he'll do science because he's really into science experiments. He really loves doing science. Yeah. So we got him a couple of science kits and he'll play and do water play and science. Yeah. And that helps. And then once his brother is up in the evening, it's back outdoors. And then once I'm off work at 5:00, it's, go for our loops around the neighborhood. And then I even had to resort to I believe it's Dr. Teal. They have
with the lavender and
they actually have one with melatonin in it now. That I've most recently started using. So that kind of helps as well to get him home and soothe down. But even at night, his eyes are like closing, and he's like, "I'm not tired. I still want to play." And then you turn over, and he's
it's like, dude, okay, you want to play? Sure.
your dreams.
Exactly. That is hilarious. And you know what? You are so right. Like that whole balance of working from home now, it is a beast. Because I mean, since working from home and she's home, it's like you really do want to try to dedicate that time to either helping them to learn something, or like you said, go outside, get some playtime, get some of your energy, and you still have to try to fit that into work at the same time. It is that right there is just a whole different switch of life in and of itself.
Yes. Oh gosh.
Well, speaking of pandemic and life changing and all the things that we have been going through, here recently, I'm wondering, with all that's been happening, in our country and all the things surrounding what's been going on, I'm wondering, what are your thoughts, do you have concerns with, your boys, they're, mixed race, and I'm wondering what kind of concerns do you have with, raising young mixed race boys that are going to probably be perceived as Black or brown in America?
Right. Right now, I don't have to worry about it so much. Because although my son sees color, he doesn't see it in the way we view color.
Yeah.
He views people as mommy is chocolate, daddy is strawberry, and I'm vanilla. And he loves chocolate. So
that is sweet.
Yeah, so he views people in regards to like foods and fruits, like strawberries, and so he doesn't perceive race yet.
Yes.
And it does make me nervous because my family, we never had conversation about race. My partner, his family never had conversations about race.
Yeah.
So we need to probably start having those conversations on how we are going to approach it. I just know for me, live and let live and exuberate as much love and compassion for people that you can. And I feel like teaching them more, stuff based upon love. And when he does start noticing, differences in regards to race, maybe at that point in time we'll visit maybe Heritage Week, where we learn about another race, another culture, to make it a norm and make it inclusive, so that he and his brother will be inclusive and loving the differences. But we never talk about that I was talking to a Black guy or I was talking to a white guy. We make sure I don't know if it's on purpose or just, in general in our relationship, I was talking to this guy and he said X, so we don't bring it up, and we're not, I don't think we're doing it intentionally. That's just how he and I, have always talked. So the only thing, again, I can just hope that my boys just see that we aren't treating people any different based upon race. We don't mention race, and it's again not to not mention it because we're trying to tread lightly. It's just we don't, because people are people.
That's it. Because
come in all shapes, all sizes, all colors, and I just want them to just treat people with human decency,
with humanity.
Yes, with humanity. And I can only hope that the outside world will treat them the same way. I know with a lot of the race or potential race wars that are trying to happen here, whether it be media, I have my own conspiracies about all that.
I think we all do.
This isn't, what's in the news isn't new. We've been dealing with it. since we were little, since our parents were little, since our grandparents were little, there are changes where I don't think racism is so like, it's not just out there like it used to be in our grandparents' time. But I think because of media coverage and it being, the script being flipped, and this isn't to discredit that the stuff's not happening, because but I guess the focus is being made into that, and it becomes, a race issue. And it's a humanity issue, because even right now, the focus is kind of flipped the script to, Asian people, with the issues that they have been, having, where they've kind of been sitting back quiet. Now it's kind of like,
now they're in the court.
Because of you, and I don't even know your ethnicity, but you look Asian, so I'm gonna hate you.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So we don't watch the news much in our home. What we get is through, feeds, and if we do have conversations about it, again, we don't mention race, but we will mention, like, after the kids are asleep, oh, I read an article about blah 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 blah, and have our conversations about it. But now that is intentional, news related ongoing events. We don't talk about around the boys.
All in that.
Yeah, they need to be children.
Exactly. Yeah. That's you know what? Through the eyes of a child, the way that you were explaining how, your Fred, and how he sees chocolate and strawberry, and it's so funny, because when you think about it, whenever, people are classified as black or white, and it's like, but are you really black? And are you really white? No. I've never seen any person the color of a piece of paper that I write on. I've never seen a human being the color of the charcoal that we put in, in the fire.
Yes.
I'm like, but through the eyes of a child, you just see what you see that's so innocent. And it makes me think about, I think her name was Ruth. There was an interview that I was watching, and I think her name was Ruth. I might be getting it wrong. I'm gonna try to find the clip to insert here. But she was the first young little black girl to be integrated to go into a segregated school.
I went in to sit down to play with them, but that is the day. Because a little boy looked at me and he said, I can't play with you. My mom said not to play with you because you're. And the minute he said that, I remember to this very day, it felt as if this weight lifted off my shoulders. All of a sudden, by him saying that, I knew why there were no kids there. And the truth is, even though he hurt my feelings, I was never angry with him. Because in my mind, I thought he was explaining to me why he couldn't play with me. He said, my mom said not to play with you. And I thought to myself, if my mom had said, Ruby, don't play with him. He's Asian. Don't play with him. He's Indian, he's Hispanic, he's white. If my mom had said not to play with him, I would not have played with him. So I wasn't angry with him. I understood.
Your support means the world to me. If you'd like to help me grow my channel, please like the video, subscribe to my channel, share my video, and keep smiling.
And they showed where there were hundreds of people that had adults who had crowded around the school, some carrying coffins with a black doll in it, like, I'm gonna kill you, I'm gonna kill you, like, we don't want her here, we don't want them here, and all these kinds of hateful things. Grown people to a child. And she said she was recounting how she remembers she would go into school because she had to enter, I think, like in the basement or something, and there was one white teacher who agreed to teach her because the other teachers, they would not teach her. And so she was talking about how she felt sad because she wanted to, be in class with the other students. She would go to put her coat in the closet and she could hear students on the other side of the wall, but she never got to see them. Oh. And she was talking about her mom, talked about how she would pray every day, until she saw her daughter walk into the house at 3:00. She would pray so hard. And she would send her with lunch because she couldn't go eat lunch with the other students. Right. So she would send her with lunch, but she would never eat her lunch. And her mama ended up asking, why are you not eating your lunch? She said, because I want to eat with the other students. So there was one day they went to take her into the cafeteria so that she could go and eat with the other students. And when they opened the door to the cafeteria, there were no students there. And she was saying how she just remembered being so sad that there were no students. And she said she remembered that there were some white parents who did want their children to go to class with her. But when they would go in, the principal would push, would redirect them so they wouldn't be able to go where she was.
Oh, wow.
Until those parents were like, we want our children to go to school with her. And so she was finally able to get a few of the little white girls and they were able to come in class with her. And she was so happy to have, friends in class, and she was recounting this recount that she said was what really stuck with me. And she said that she remembered there was a little white boy that she wanted to go play with. And the little white boy said to her, I can't play with you. And he said, my mom told me I cannot play with you. And so he got up and he ran away and he didn't play with her. And she said she remembers as a kid when she heard the little boy say that, my mom said, I can't play with you. She said she remembered a weight being lifted. And she said when she heard that, it's like it clicked. And as a child, it clicked and she realized, oh, he can't play with me because his mom said he can't play with me. If my mom told me not to play with this little Spanish boy or this Jewish boy or this, this Asian kid, I wouldn't play with them either. So he's only doing what his mom told him to do. And so it goes to show right there, through the eyes of a child, he would have only seen her possibly, it's just a chocolate girl. Yeah. Just another chocolate little child. Yeah. But when our parents instill in us, you don't play with people that look chocolate. You don't play with children that have another religion. You don't play with another child that comes from a different country. You play with what looks like you. Right. That is where the seed of the hatred starts.
Yep.
And that's why it is our responsibility to teach, like you were just saying, love people. Mm-hmm. You love people. Yep. It don't matter. It don't matter if they have the same color as you. It doesn't matter if they have the same race as you. It doesn't matter if they have the same religion as you. It doesn't. If there is someone hurting you, that's because that person is not a good person or because that person has issues in them. It doesn't mean they're bad because they're, considered to be white or because they're considered to be black or because they're considered to be Islamic or they're considered to be, whatever the case may be. Mm-hmm. It's because that person has an issue. Or they've got a seed of hatred in them because of what they've been taught.
Right. Exactly.
And we have to teach differently.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yes, definitely. It starts at home. And what we teach our children at home is how they view the world, how they view themselves, how they feel about themselves. Home is their comfort. What we say, it becomes their inner thought process. Yep. They're going to have their own opinions and views once they become older, but they see the world through our eyes as well.
Because they can see it just like you were just saying how Fred says chocolate strawberry. But if you said, no, Fred, it's not chocolate, I'm black, and no, it's not strawberry, your dad's white.
Right.
You completely changed his perception because his kids are impressionable and they're going to take on what mommy and daddy say.
Yes. Oh, yes. Definitely. Like that was the world then that's trying to creep its little self back in.
It's trying.
But
I'm telling you, we have to be intentional to make sure that we do the work that we can. We stand up and make a stand where we can. And I feel like, one of the important parts about that is, the Black community standing together, because we can be some of the roughest on each other. We can be some of the most divisive with each other. I feel like if we can make a decision to put all of that aside, like they used to say in back in the day, listen, what happens in our house stays in our house, but when we go out, we need to show a unified front. Because guess what? The other cultures are.
Yes,
they are coming out and they are having a unified front, but we are so very divisive against ourselves, and we allow so many other perceptions and other people to come and infiltrate us and show us a few dollars, and then we're ready to turn on each other for those few dollars. And it's like, no, we've got to do better.
Yes.
We've got to do better.
Definitely. Oh, definitely.
Well, I digress. I would like to know, Cassie, with your boys, as they continue to grow up and, come into adulthood, what are some of the things, and you've talked a little bit about it already, but what are some of the life lessons that you hope to teach your boys that they're carrying with themselves as they grow up through this journey called life and into adulthood?
Yes, with me talking about it earlier, love. That is my number one thing that I want to impart on them.
Yeah.
Just because love covers a multitude of things.
Yes.
And honestly, it was the love of my grandmother as to why I'm here. My grandmother raised me. My birth mother had some addictions that, caused her to not be able to, be a mother to me. And when no one else would or could, my grandmother stepped in. That was love. Not only that, but mother figures in my life, Miss Angie, your mom.
My mama.
Yes. Now that woman is definitely one of the, if not number one, number two people that I could definitely say, just watching her acts of love, how she loved the world and in everything. People who didn't have best interest, when things in life, whether it be job, relationship, felt like the world was caving in. Your mother loved through it, loved hard, even with Lily, the situation there, how she handled that. Oh my God, I couldn't imagine, being in that place. But the love that your mother had in her heart, because she loves God first, and she trusts God.
Yes, she does. I call her God's right-hand woman.
Right. But your mother and my grandmother, definitely those two women, very strong mentally, physically, emotionally. They put their faith and their trust in God, and although I might not be one of those outright on the corner preaching it and telling it high and low, I'm there, and it really is, praying for my boys, because there's going to be a point in time in life when I'm not going to be there, and I'm not going to be able to physically protect them mentally and emotionally. So all that I can do right now is try to instill that love, that compassion, allow my actions to speak for itself for them. That, my mom never showed me that she hated people. Your mother never spoke not a negative word against people who, meant harm to her, or didn't want, greater for her. And although as you grow, you start to experience that in the workplace, even, dare I say it, church,
yes, family.
Family, definitely, yes. Every corner that you can, and our government.
Oh.
It's you experience it everywhere, and
Mm-hmm.
there's fear. There is
Yeah.
fear there that, I'm not going to be here always to,
Yeah.
take care of them. So the best thing I can do is teach them, and
Yeah.
to teach them to love through it all, to love
Yeah.
themselves.
Yes. Yes. And that is key. Love
Yes.
yourself.
And I make sure that when Frederick and Andrew both do something, even if it's small, they color inside the lines, or they sit there quietly. It's not just mommy's proud of you for doing that, but I ask them the question, are you proud that you were able to do that?
Yeah.
And he'll say, yes. I'm proud I did that.
Good.
You should be proud of yourself because that was a big boy thing, and I try to make sure that when we're saying those things to him, are you proud or I love you, do you love yourself? You should love yourself. Do you know why you should love yourself? Because you are you. There's no one else like you. I got a little Fred Rogers in there. Some more Fred Rogers going on because there's no one else. But he was right,
Yeah.
Because when you love yourself, you can love other people.
Yes.
You can have compassion for other people. You're not going to mistreat them. One day you're gonna walk alone. Your brother might not be there. Y'all might not have each other. And you've got to be able to stand strong. So I am probably wrong for this. But Frederick hears me talk about God every once in a while. But I'm more of a closet prayer and
you're a closet Christian.
Yes.
Come out the closet, girl. Come out the closet.
I'm a closet Christian. But he doesn't see me pray on my knees and stuff. But here recently, I've been kind of probably what he probably thinks is my mama crazy. Who's she talking to?
Yeah.
But at night when they go to sleep, I do close my eyes and put my hands on their head and I pray the Lord bless and keep you. May he make his face to shine upon you. And he's like, Mommy, who are you talking to?
Oh.
I'm talking to God. Yeah. So I'm starting to, I'm like, he's got to see this. He's got to see where this backing of my love, where it comes from. And I've got to make a more conscious effort of doing it, but
we all do.
He actually caught me off guard a couple of weeks ago, and he said, Mommy, I was in my room talking to God. I was like, you were? He was like, yes. And he talked back to me. I said, he did. Yeah. And he was like, yes. And the conversation was about something he asked God for. So we're going to have to work on that. Because he's not a genie in a bottle.
No, Mama. I'm talking to him. It's hard.
But he's talking to him. So there's a first. And, I'm going to try to nurture that.
You got to start somewhere.
Gotta start somewhere. But I'm happy about that. And I'm definitely going to make it more,
that's so
where we talk about him a little bit more so in the home, so he's more aware because his father is Catholic background.
Okay.
So, but he didn't grow up in the Catholic Church. He was baptized in the Catholic Church, but he's a non-practicing Catholic. So so religion, we don't really talk about it much in our home, and he is kind of like, let them find out who God is on their own to themselves. But I'm like, in my mind, I'm kind of like, well, they gotta know who God is first to know if they want to,
at least form a foundation and then allow them to grow on that foundation as they go throughout life. Because I think that's how we all are. Because I mean, I know for myself, now my mom knows, she drilled it in us, like, nah, but still, I'm grateful, as strict as it was, and as some maybe a little misguided in times as it was, I'm still grateful for the foundation that allowed me as I've gotten older now to at least have that foundation to then go, grow, and learn for myself and seek out for yourself, you know?
Right, exactly. And that's why I definitely want to make a more conscious effort. Because I think with faith comes morals. It comes, comes standards. And I definitely want my boys to have that, because it's enough. You can teach them thanks and to be, respectful.
Yeah.
But when you have that, I don't know, it's something about in our religion of Christianity, and it probably is the same way in other religions.
Yes. It's spirituality,
that
grounding of spirituality that helps to propel us forward in a way that we have morals and character and standards and those things.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, you said it. My mom brain, but yes.
No, girl, look, I'm right there because I'm right here with you. I'm right here with you.
Thank you. But yes, that is definitely it. Those standards and morals are definitely, I guess I would add to teaching them with love, comes that as well. But I mean, they're gonna grasp knowledge. That's just a given. As long as they're seeking and wanting to know it, they're gonna know it. But there's certain things when they're little, you've got to teach them.
That's it.
I think love is that seed that I choose to seed. So.
Well, and I'm going to start stealing that from you, the asking, I know that I love you. I'm proud of you, but are you proud of yourself? I'm going to steal that from you. I love that. I love that. Well, I appreciate you, Cassie. I know that you've got to get back to the boys, get back to the family, enjoy your family time, but I want to thank you for spending some time with me today and doing this #Boy Mom interview with me. And I just want,
thank you for having me. Thank you.
Absolutely. Anytime.
More than you know.
I love you. And I want to say out to my community out there, I love you guys too. I hope that just as Cassie and I talked about, that you practice love for yourself, that you teach your children love, that we can be better human beings to each other and treat each other with humanity. And I want to say out there to all of you fathers, happy early Father's Day. I hope you have the best day ever. And if you have not done so already today, I want you to stop, take a moment, find a reason to laugh, and keep smiling. Until next time, and always, stay blessed.